Hey girlies, I'm Jessica. And I'm Rachel, and you're listening to the Game Day Girlies.
Hi, welcome back to another week of the Game Day Girlies. Hi, Rachel, how are you doing?
We're back. I'm actually, I'm really good. I'm also especially good because I'm like in Alabama currently. I am
Hmm.
sitting currently in Alabama, and I'm like, the air just is, it just
It's
feels better.
the air smells like a win.
Exactly, it does. I was like, get me out of Georgia. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No. But yes, it does. I feel like I'm with my people. Like everybody here was
Hmm.
really excited.
Hmm.
Um, and except for Auburn fans, but
No, well,
they'll be all
that's
right.
their fault.
Yeah, very much so. Very much
That's
so.
their fault.
But yes, I'm good. And we're also glad that you are safe from
Yes,
Hurricane Helene. She did her
she did
big
her big
one.
one. She did her big one.
She did her
Yes.
big one on the south in Florida.
Yeah.
So we are just glad that you are safe. You and the fam are safe. And then all of you out there, you were affected. We are hoping that you are safe and sound and that all of your power is restored and all of the damage isn't too bad. But
Yeah.
we are sending our prayers and our thoughts to everybody affected and who could potentially be affected by another hurricane. So
Yeah.
stay
Hurricane
safe out
season.
there.
Yeah, hurricane season is crazy.
Crazy.
But we don't want to make this sad. So we're going to jump into this week's recap, which had a lot of drama in itself. So we're going to start off with Mississippi State, Texas, which was pretty.
Yeah.
It went how it needed to go. Texas won 13-35. I will say they were not struggling, but it took them a little bit to get together with Arch Manning starting again.
Hmm.
I was excited to see him play a little bit more of a competitive game. Not saying that Mississippi State is just like the end all be all, but it was a little bit more competitive than what they have been. So it was good to see them come out with a win there. And
Yes.
shout out to Haley for her content.
Yes. Oh my
We
gosh. We might have to repost, and we will like on our main feed, all of them together since the stories kind of got cut off because you have to see it all. It was
Mhm.
truly behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So, all of our Texas girlies, you got your content.
Don't ask for it again.
Yes. Well, good job, Haley. I appreciate it. And Haley went
Yes.
5-1 this week. So
Yes.
shout out to Haley. Good
Good
for
pick. Good
good
picks.
picks. Good picks. Okay. So our next game was Illinois at Penn State.
Hmm.
And Penn State did their thing, 21 and 1, 21-7 at home.
Hmm.
So this game was like, I don't know, this was like an interesting game. I was watching it and I was like, hmm.
Yeah, I actually didn't see this one. I was leaving my home in South Carolina to get to somewhere with a television
Mhm.
and power, but so I wasn't watching this one, but I
You didn't
looked
miss
at
much.
yeah, I looked at the highlights and it was like it looked close a little bit and I was like, "Oh, okay. Like maybe Illinois can pull it out." And then I was like, "All right, nah, never mind." So,
No.
whatever. But that's
No.
okay. That's
It
okay.
is. It's fine.
Our next game that we had on the docket is Louisville versus Notre Dame. And despite how I act, and I know who I picked last week. I picked Louisville to
So
win,
did I.
but I was actually low key rooting for Notre Dame because Louisville was undefeated like their entire season, and then they're in the ACC. So I needed them to have a loss, to keep Clemson at the top for the ACC running. So I was actually
But
happy,
selfishly,
selfishly, always selfishly, always, always.
you're like, everything I do is for
It's
Clemson.
for Clemson. I'm looking to see how we can advance. But so saying that to say, though I didn't pick Louisville, I was actually happy. I need to get this on the books. I was actually happy that Notre Dame won 24-31. Louisville made it a game because Notre Dame was like killing them, and then they came back
Yeah.
and tried to make it close, but
Had to do a little something, something, make a little something, something shake.
yeah, but they didn't. So
They did not.
Shout out to Notre Dame. I'm happy about that one.
Good job, Notre Dame. You have a quality win on your resume. Congratulations. Okay, so next up we have Oklahoma State at Kansas State. This game was disappointing. The score was 20-42 and Kansas State won. This is very wild to me, quite honestly, because everyone was saying that it was going to be a
Good game.
good game, and they were ranked very closely. So it was a very meh kind of
Yeah.
showing, I guess, from
Yeah.
Oklahoma State on the road. So, but it was helpful for Kansas State because they got upset in week 4, and now here they are. So a quality win for Kansas State.
And theirs, yeah. I also, unfortunately, missed this one too, but the score tells me all I need to know. So
Yes. That's exactly how it went.
I didn't, however, miss these last 2 games, and I was literally we were pulling up to my aunt's house literally as kickoff was happening for Clemson, and I was like, oh, thank the Lord.
Thank the Lord.
This is the only time I was happy that it was a night game because I would have missed it
You would have.
otherwise. But so next we have Stanford at Clemson. Clemson handled business 14-40, and it was their homecoming. But there was actually a lot of ridicule that Clemson got for actually hosting the game because of the hurricane, and so I saw some students obviously were just upset because the resources that students and then residents of the city of Clemson were upset because the few resources that they did have available to them, like gas, food, whatever was open, was now going to these people who were coming in. So I was a little sad about that because I was also jokingly, I was like, of course Clemson doesn't have class on Friday, but they make sure this stadium's up and running for the game on Saturday, and they cancel class on Monday too. And I'm just like, this isn't a good look, but good win.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna just leave it there.
She said, but good win. Yeah,
but
no,
good win.
yes, the community certainly needed some type of support, and still does. And yeah, I did see all of the commentary
The
around
chatter.
this game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so
Yeah, it was twofold though, because then some people were like, we need the reprieve, we need something to get our minds off of it. So I can see both sides, but yeah. But anyway, moving on to the game of the evening.
oh my God, okay. Number 2 at the time, Georgia versus number 4, Alabama. Wow. Just wow. Honestly,
Yeah.
okay, so this final score was 34-41. This game was crazy because I was watching the game, and then at halftime I left because I had dinner plans. I love my friend dearly. Why I decided that dinner plans needed to happen on Saturday while Georgia and Alabama. I don't know why. I obviously wasn't in my right mind whenever I scheduled this dinner. So I did not get to watch the whole second half live. I was watching it via the little, app, just keeping up with the score. And nothing was happening in the third quarter. Nothing was happening. And so I'm like, oh, it's going to be fine.
We got this.
We then go up to the rooftop bar, and of course, we're in Atlanta, so there are Georgia fans everywhere. And it's now in the fourth quarter, and I'm like, why are they all so
Happy.
joyful?
What happened?
What is joyful about losing 30? What's going on? So then I pull up my little iPhone and log into YouTube TV, and I'm like, oh, this is insane. Y'all have lost your minds.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, in the fourth quarter, and like the last the last half of the fourth quarter, like the last 7 minutes of the entire game, Georgia like made their comeback, and I just honestly I thought that I was gonna throw up in that bar. I literally was like, I have to get out of here. I cannot be. And I was wearing, of course, I was wearing an Alabama shirt, and I was like, they're gonna literally run me out of here. But we pulled it out, and Jalen Milroe, Ryan Williams, like, wow. I just honestly still can't. I don't even have words. This team certainly showed that they have grit. And I think, honestly, like, Georgia, this game is, through the years, has always come down, or a lot of the times come down to the last possession. All the time. Like that, what was it? It was like 4th and 26 or whatever in the national championship with Tua, like absolute last play, like SEC championship. Like this is just, it lived up to the hype, an instant classic, and just wow.
Yeah, it was a really good game, and I was sitting there like halftime too. I was just like, this isn't a game. I texted you. I was like, like they look great. Like, you got this in the bag. Like, no worries. And then I think we were like flipping games or something, but it was come back, and I'm just like, whoa, wait a minute, what happened? Like, where did Alabama go?
And where did Georgia come from?
And where did Georgia come from? So I was literally just like, oh my goodness, like this is a good game. And honestly, that was like, to me, I was hoping, like the last quarter was the game I was hoping for the whole time. Like I was not expecting Alabama to just like steamroll them the way that they did in the first half.
I was shocked too. I was so shocked. I was like, wait, we are just coming down the field and score after score. I'm like, what? Where has this team been? But
no. But it was like a really, really, really good game. The fourth quarter was a really good game, and so that was so fun to watch with no skin in the game. I was just like, I wonder how Rachel's feeling now. Like I texted you, and then like later I was like, I don't want to text her right now. Like I'm worried she's about to have a conniption if I say anything.
My phone was on Do Not Disturb. I was like, just
don't talk to me.
Yeah, she's like, let me just watch these. If we lose, let me just sulk in peace. Like I don't.
Yeah.
But thankfully we did not, and we're here, and it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah.
So, although I will take this moment to say, when the rankings came out yesterday, because we're recording on Monday, so the rankings came out yesterday on Sunday, I was surprised that we were number one. I was, I mean, I guess technically Texas doesn't have any like quality wins, like a marquee kind of win like a Georgia yet. But they will play in 2 weeks, and that will be a real, I guess, kind of a test. And then also a reminder that in the SEC, because of all of this craziness with the conferences, there's no divisions. So the top 2 teams play for the SEC championship. So there's a lot that can happen in there. Speaking of other teams in the SEC, Kentucky, 2 weeks in a row, have they've
put
shown
people
up.
On their toes.
They have shown up and put people on their toes. And this week they upset Ole Miss in Oxford, 20
That's a good one.
to 17 and they missed their game-winning game-tying field goal to throw it into overtime. So, wow.
Crazy.
If Ole Miss had won that game, it would have been Lane's 100th win. But Kentucky said no.
Not today. Gonna have to get it somewhere
They
else.
said try again next week.
Have to get it somewhere else.
Yeah, figure it out. So, but yes, the SEC is certainly, I mean, just in general, we're getting into these conference matchups. People are really showing up for their games.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready for
I
it.
feel like it matters more than ever now because it's like anybody can do it. Anybody, like,
Yep.
you just, and even if you're not the top of the, like, even if you don't win your conference, you still want to be at the top because you still
Totally.
have a chance to get in that top
Into
12.
the
And
playoff.
so, right. So it's like everybody is playing. I feel like this year is going to be like crazy with the upsets. Like we've already had quite a few to this point, and so I just think it's just
I
going to
don't
keep
count
coming.
any of the Florida State upsets as upsets.
Okay,
They did not.
they're
They
they're
shouldn't
done.
have been.
They're done.
They should not have been ranked in the first place.
They're
And
done.
so
They're
that's
done.
that. So I don't care.
They're
Yes,
done.
other than them, there have been a ton
All
of
else.
there have been upsets, but Florida State, you
All
deserve
else.
to lose every single one.
All else is.
Terrible.
Speaking of almost upset, or I okay, so I have my opinions about this one. I did not watch this game, but so Virginia Tech, this one was Friday. Virginia Tech versus Miami. Miami, another ACC matchup. Virginia Tech, both were coming in. Miami was coming in undefeated. I think Virginia Tech only had one loss.
One loss. Yes.
So yeah, coming in as the underdogs, took Miami to the very, very end, and then they threw a Hail Mary. That was called. It was called on the field a touchdown. They then go to review it, and they say during the review process is that because the loose ball was touched by a Miami player while he was out of bounds, it made it an incomplete pass and immediately ends the play. So I didn't watch this game, but I went back and I looked at the highlights and I looked at it over and over and over. And I was like, I genuinely forgetting, like, okay, the ruling, cool, whatever. I looked at it. To me, it looked like a touchdown. To my
Right.
eye, it looked like a touchdown. And then even if this ruling or whatever that they said, to me it wasn't enough, they say, conclusive evidence to overturn it. So I genuinely feel like Virginia Tech was robbed the win this game, which would have made Miami have a one loss in the ACC, which would have been good.
Yeah, I was
for
going to
me.
say because that is because right now they are number one in the power rankings. Is that they are number one in the ACC? So,
Right.
like we said, she gonna do everything for Clemson.
Right. So I was obviously rooting for them to lose, but like genuinely, like not even with that in mind. To me, it looked like a touchdown, and even
Right.
in the review process, that's what y'all came up with. Cool. It still to me wasn't enough to be like, no.
And the statement from the ACC came after the fact. They didn't on the field talk about the whole the ineligible receiver touching
Yeah, they were just
the
like,
receiver touching the ball when he was out of bounds. They didn't say anything about that. Basically, the ACC came in and swooped up and saved these refs behinds and said, "Well, okay, now that we've watched the whole thing,
yeah,
this
this
is
is
what
what we
we're
came
saying."
up with. The refs were just like, incomplete
No.
pass, game over.
Right.
Huh? Like typically, especially in those kind of situations, they explain it a little bit like on the field. So to like
Yes.
not even hear an explanation, I was dying to like see some replay, something. I was like, oh my goodness, there is no way.
There's no
There
way.
is no way. So Virginia Tech, for me, you guys won. It won't show it on your record, but you guys were robbed that game.
Yeah. I agree. That was
was rough.
Ooh,
That was rough.
Keep your head up, BT. Keep your head up. Keep your head up. Well, those picks, those games, all those games. That's the first time we've ever done 6 games where we've picked, and they all were. I mean, not all of them,
Crazy.
but like the majority of them were so good, crazy. Like it
Yeah.
lived up to the hype. We hyped up
Yeah.
these 6 games, and here we are. So
Yeah.
I love that for us and all the fans because it was a great day of football, quite honestly. Okay, so we're moving into our noteworthy news. And, last season we did our like way too early Heisman picks. But now with the expanded playoff, We're also going to do our way too early conference championship or conference champion picks. So we're going to start with the Heisman. First off, because after this like crazy week of football, there have a new front runner for the Heisman has emerged all of a sudden. And it's very interesting to me because Jalen Milroe was not really considered in preseason or even like after week 1 or week 2, even though he has had a really strong showing. But now all of a sudden, after his really great performance against Georgia, he is now the front runner for the Heisman. Again, we all know all this is way too early, and there's so many things that can happen, and there's so many games to be played. So, Jess, who is your way too early Heisman pick?
My way too early Heisman pick is Travis Hunter. I feel he is the best person playing football right now on offense, on defense. And I know like the commentators have like talked a lot about, well, there's never been a player to win and their team has a losing season. First of all, the season's not over.
Yeah.
And they have a winning record. So for y'all to assume that they're going to have a losing record is absurd to me. That's one. Two, even if they do, the Heisman is an individual award, and I feel like this is the perfect way to kind of show that it is just that. He's putting up, like, to perform the way that he performs, and his team is, like, potentially still has a losing season. Like, that says a lot to how he plays and what he's doing. Like, yes, I'm playing my butt off, and it's, like, we just can't get it together as a team, and so I feel like if he continues to put up numbers the way that he is, and regardless of what the team record looks like at the end of the season, I feel like Travis Hunter should be the winner of the Heisman. That is my too early Heisman pick.
After what I saw on Saturday, and after, watching all of the first takes and the sports centers and the get-ups, and even though I'm an Alabama girly, we all know, and I would love nothing more than an Alabama player to win the Heisman because I'm just selfish. However, I agree with you that Travis Hunter is the best player in college football currently. And what he is currently doing, which is playing offense and defense, playing almost every single snap, and he sometimes plays special teams, which is insane to me. And to perform at the level that he performs with the amount of endurance and skill and like conditioning that it requires, off of that alone, he should 100% win the Heisman. I don't think it's close unless somebody else is literally comes out of the woodwork. Like, I don't even know what Jalen Milroe could do in order for me to say that.
Change your mind.
Yeah, to change my mind, because Travis Hunter is just that good, in my opinion. So I'm picking Travis. If it can't be Travis, and if the Heisman voters really feel
Jalen's the front runner,
that's what they really, that's what it is. If it has to be a winning record, and if it has to be, whatever, if your team has to have been in the playoff, like, whatever, then fine. Jalen, Jalen, but if I had a Heisman vote, which we should, it would be going to Travis Hunter, 100%.
Yes, I agree.
100%.
Too early or not, I feel like.
I think honestly he's only improved since last year. This is not the first year that he's been doing this. He was very good last year. Colorado was not good last year.
So, but even the team is playing better this year. Like, they're at 4 wins They won 4 total games last year, and they have the rest of the season.
Yeah.
So to me, like, that's what I feel like what really upset me with, like, the commentators listening. They were just, like, assuming that Colorado was going to have a losing season. And I don't think that's fair to, one, put on the team this early, and then, two, to just, like, make that statement and then be like, so that's why he can't do it.
Yeah.
If I'm putting up all these numbers and my team still has a losing season, what does that say about me as a player? And if this is truly an individual award, give it to me.
Yes. Period. Dot. Now to a non-individual award. Our conference champion picks. So let's start with the Big 12. So currently the top 3 according to the FPI, which is the Football Power Index, the top 3 teams in order currently are Kansas State, Iowa State, Colorado. None of these teams have played each other yet. So there's still obviously a lot to go here. Who is your pick for Big 12 champion?
So Colorado, Kansas State, actually, they both have a bye this week, but they play each other the following week.
Right.
I want to say the winner of that game, but I can't. So I'm going to say Kansas State. I just feel like they've been playing a little bit more complete. Like, looking at it, offense, defense, Iowa State and Colorado, I feel like aren't as consistent on both sides of the ball compared to Kansas State. So that is my Big 12 pick.
I agree
Kansas
with you.
State.
I do also think that there's something to be said whenever a team loses early like this and then comes back, like bounces back and plays really well. It shows like kind of what's going on in the locker room and that they are locked in essentially. Like they are focused and they were like, we're not playing around anymore. So I am picking Kansas State to win off of that like mental kind of game that
and honestly that's harder to get past. So if you have the mental locked in, like everything else is just like practice. It'll flow. So I agree with that.
All right, Big Ten. Currently, the Big Ten. Ohio State, Penn State, and Oregon are the top 3 teams. Again, none of these teams have played each other yet. Who's your pick?
I am going to go with Penn State.
Ooh.
First of all, Ohio State hasn't played anybody worth mentioning. And
they never do until the last game.
Until the last, and then they lose. And then they lose.
Yeah.
So it's like, I can't. I can't. But anyway, I think Penn State, they to me are a team that they always like, they get there, but then they can't finish it. That's partly why like I picked Illinois this past week, because as soon as they get in the top 10, historically speaking, and they play a ranked opponent, they lose. Yeah. They choke, like something in them chokes, but they didn't. I feel like that was a really good test to see that they didn't let the pressure get to them. And again, like you were saying with Kansas State, it's like a mental thing. So if they can get over the pressure, I do think that they have a lot of potential to be a really good team. And they have been. They play well together, and they look good on both sides of the football, but it's always just something that they just can't finish. But I'm going to pick Penn State.
This one's tough for me because I really do feel like it's going to come down to this is going to be hard because I don't feel like, well, obviously there's not a whole lot of like room between each of them. It's not like these teams are like one team is like obviously so much better than the other because I think Penn State had their first like real test this week. Ohio State hasn't played anyone. Oregon hasn't played anyone. So it's just hard to say, but based on what I have seen thus far, and I know you're going to roll your eyes, I'm picking Ohio State. Again, way too early, but I'm like, historically, they always figure it out, and it's not pretty. It's never pretty. It's never pretty. It's always very ugly. But I do feel like with Michigan having a down-ish year, that, they might, try and rise up, and that they're gonna,
take it.
I don't know. Maybe they're really trying to emerge as the marquee team in the Big Ten and kind of push Michigan to the side. I think that that's probably enough motivation for them in itself.
Well, I think Ryan Day needs a win because if he doesn't beat Michigan this year,
No,
honey,
look, I'm trying to figure out why this man still has a job.
I swear they're always like so ready and quick to fire people. Like he has gotten
Like, he has to have like something on the AD or the president. Like,
has to.
What is it? Because
Has
you
to.
don't beat Michigan consistently, you don't win national championships consistently. You like, what happens here?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
need to understand, Steven. Steven, what's not clicking? What's not clicking, Steven? So, yeah, that's where I'm at there. All right, ACC. We already know what you're going to say.
Yeah. But go ahead and do the top three.
Okay, top three. Miami, Louisville, and Clemson.
Obviously, I'm picking Clemson.
Yeah.
I don't know why Louisville is two. Maybe because they're still. Well,
They're
not.
undefeated in ACC play because,
Yeah.
as much as we all know about, what's their face, Notre Dame, they're technically not in the conference. So
Right.
there's that.
Again, we should have been number two. And after that, our loss was against the number one team. Whatever. Anyway, I'm picking Clemson, and I'm going to call the game. I think it's going to be Miami and Clemson and Charlotte for the
Ooh,
ACC
she said,
championship.
I'm calling the matchup, not only the champion, but the matchup. Okay,
Yeah.
honey.
So that's who I'm picking.
I can't wait to see it.
Obviously.
I can't wait to see it. I'm picking Miami.
Woo!
I know. But, I don't have any ties to Clemson other than
Me,
you.
I'm your tie.
I know.
I'm
I
your
said
tie.
other than you, but also, how I'm trying to win. I'm like,
Fair.
what is it? What do they say? I don't give a piss about nothing but the tide. So other than that, I'm trying to win. So I'm
Fair.
picking Miami. Miami also has a Cameron Ward is a Heisman front runner additionally. So that is going for them, obviously. So I'm just curious to see on that end of things. But I do believe that Miami will pull this one out, and because they haven't won the ACC, or they haven't really
Not in
been
a
winning a
while.
lot in a while. So
No, it's been a minute since the U was like anything big, but like also to me, and this is just so they came in as the front runner in the ACC,
Right.
Miami, but like to me, as the season's been going, they have not been getting better. They've been getting worse. They started off like dominating, and then games have been getting closer and closer. Whereas Clemson, we started off a little shaky, and then we've been
so
dominating. But we'll see. You pick Miami. I'm going to respect that. And
I'm going to respect your pick on this next one. Okay. So next we have up the SEC. The current rankings are Texas, Alabama, and then Georgia.
this is so funny to me that they have SEC or Texas at the top in the SEC, but not in the polls. Like, that is so funny to me.
The power rankings are all just like a calculation, and they also, this is ridiculous to me, but yes, it's all a calculation, and it's all also based on who you are going to play, and then the probability of your winning out. So it doesn't make any sense, no, because obviously the rankings are all kind of based on what you did, but the power index is a calculation not only based on what you've done, but also what they're
what can
predicting.
happen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's very ridiculous,
Weird.
but here we are.
Yeah. Okay, I'm actually again, like the Big 12, I want to see Texas, Georgia play before I make this decision, but
Oh
I
my
have
God.
to. I have to decide. I'm gonna go with Texas on this one, and my reasoning is looking in the future. I just feel like because they have, I feel like with both quarterbacks, Arch Manning and Quinn Ewers, they can get fun on their offense a little bit and maybe shake things up come later down the line if when both players are can and are eligible to play. I think they can really have fun with the offense, shake it up a little bit, and I don't. Not that Alabama can't handle it, but or Georgia can't handle it, but I just think it's something that the other teams don't have, where all three teams are looking good on the defensive side, all three teams are looking good on the offensive side. Like, what does one of them have that the other one doesn't? I think Texas has a really good backup quarterback and first string quarterback, but we don't know what Alabama Georgia looks like, and I think that alone can like change up how they do or like play their run their offense to just edge it out a little bit.
I mean, the only thing that is like, obviously these teams, the only teams that have played each other currently are Alabama, Georgia, right? Texas plays Georgia, not this upcoming week, but next week. But they play in Austin. Georgia has got the terrible, like, they got the terrible luck of the draw here. I don't know what Kirby did to the SEC commissioner or whatever, but to have to play in Tuscaloosa and Austin, like, oof.
He messed up somewhere.
Yeah, it was like, oof, you need to be praying somebody. You need to be giving somebody a Christmas gift, something. Anyways, and then also, Alabama has to play Tennessee in Knoxville. Sorry, I was like, am I saying that right? Knoxville. And Texas also has to play OU. I think but it's a neutral site, so whatever. So there are still a lot of games to be played, but I am calling Texas and Alabama in the it's okay. No.
Oh,
Pause.
well,
Whoa,
buddy.
whoa, whoa, whoa,
Pause,
whoa,
pause,
whoa,
pause,
whoa,
pause,
sorry,
pause.
sorry. Okay, I'm in the SEC championship. I'm calling Alabama, Texas, and I have Alabama winning very similarly to how they won against Georgia in a very close game in Atlanta, because the SEC championship is in Atlanta, and that's very far from Texas. So it's basically going to be like a home field for us. That's my
Yeah.
prediction.
All right.
We'll
Okay.
see.
Not surprised. Not surprised. But
Not
I think those are really good, and we will post these
Yes.
on our story this week, and we want to hear
We wanna
your
know who your pick
Heisman,
are.
your early Heisman pick, your early conference championship picks this week. So now that we have talked about our picks and all of the good things, we now need to get into our picks for this upcoming week. I feel like it was a little bit like these games are a little bit slower, but we do need a bit of a break after last week because it was a lot of drama.
I mean, technically, but I just honestly, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. Ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. We don't need to stop. We're ready to go. Keep it pushing. I need
Keep
to
it
go
pushing, keep
football.
it pushing.
Football. But the next like few weeks are going to be insane after this week. So everybody, rest up. Because it's
Lock
going to be a
in.
marathon. It's going to be a marathon. We're going to be on the road. On the road. Right. We're ready. We're ready. Put me
Are
on the
we?
sideline somewhere. Please. I'm ready. I'm hyped for these next few weeks. I just want to get through this week and then I'm ready.
Yeah, this week will be. Okay, but let's get going.
Let's do it. So first up, we have number 1, Alabama at Vanderbilt. I'm obviously picking Alabama, but this is definitely whenever you have like teams come off of a huge win like Alabama, Georgia, and then go into an environment where it is seemingly a automatic win or a team that is not as the caliber team is seemingly less. This is where, as Nick Saban used to call it, the rat poison comes in. And the media is like, oh, Alabama, da, da, da. No, stay focused.
Yeah.
Stay focused.
You can easily like get in your head and be like, oh, we got it. And just like that gets the best of you.
Exactly.
So.
Just like y'all came out on that second half. Y'all said that y'all got it and didn't score again until about 7 minutes left.
Till it was about time to go home.
Figure it out. So yes, I'm picking Alabama, but y'all need to make sure that y'all come in there ready.
I'm also picking Alabama. I don't think this will be. I think I'm the media. Like, y'all got it. Like, y'all got it. It'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
Yeah. So. It'll be good. Another road game. We have number 15 Clemson at Florida State. And I'm mad because I was actually really excited for this game at the beginning of the season. I thought it was going to be a good one. I was nervous to go to Tallahassee, which honestly, it might end up being depending on how all the recovery and stuff goes from Helene.
Tallahassee was hit hard.
So this actually might be a neutral site. Depending, I don't know, so we'll see. But if we do have to go to Tallahassee.
Well, you know what the city of Tallahassee is going to do is they're going to come together. Those Floridians,
they're going to fix it.
They're going to figure it out. You know, they said we're built for this. Hurricanes, we don't need power to this.
Not new to this. True to this.
Not. He said we don't need lights. We don't need power.
Right.
So,
but obviously, I'm picking Clemson. Florida State is just on a downward spiral of poor hot doo doo, and it's just
trash.
Yeah. So
yes, I'm picking Clemson too. Florida State, sad, just sad.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say.
Bueno.
Sad.
No bueno.
Speaking of sad, number 12, Ole Miss at South Carolina. Now, Lane, I believe in you. I need you can get this 100th win. And I'm picking Ole Miss. Ole Piss. I'm picking y'all. Because you need to figure it out. And I'm returning the favor because Lane picked Alabama on game day. So, Lane.
This one's for you.
This one's for you. From the Tide. Go Ole Piss.
Okay, so
oh god, oh brother, here she goes.
No, here we go because I'm gonna break it down, right? So God. South Carolina, let's remember, South Carolina steamrolled Kentucky. Kentucky just beat Ole Miss. South Carolina will have that full team. So the quarterback who their QB1 who have been out with an ankle injury is expected to be back for this game. So they'll be back full swing in motion. However, I said that to say I'm still picking Ole Miss because I can never in
I was
my
about to say this is insane. We need to we have to cut it off somewhere, Jess.
I can never in my right mind pick South Carolina, but I'm saying that to say I think this is going to be a closer game than what people are expecting. Them people are actually mentally ill in Columbia, South Carolina. So it's gonna be insane. They're loud. They're crazy. I say that with love. I have so many friends that went to South Carolina, but they're insane. So it's just
you're we love you, but crazy,
crazy.
Mentally.
So it's just I think it'll be a tough environment, but yeah, I think it'll be a good game. But I hope Ole Miss wins it. Also, I think coming off of the loss against Kentucky, they'll figure it out.
Yeah, I expect them to literally come out swinging.
I hope he's in there prime time was. Y'all lost. Wait, did you see that? Y'all won and played bad. Get back to practice. It was ooh.
True.
Go again.
Do it again.
Do it again.
Another one.
What is Remember the Titans where he's that his long speech. I'm not gonna mess it up.
Remember the Titans is literally my all-time favorite movie.
I love that movie. It's so good.
Whenever people ask me whenever you have to a fun fact about yourself, or like, what's your
Yeah.
favorite movie? It's always Remember the Titans.
It's so good. It really is a good movie.
Classic.
But yeah,
Classic.
they're gonna be running a mile all week.
Truth.
Ole Miss. So.
Mm-hmm.
And then our last game of the week, which will be ESPN Game Day.
Which is so odd to me.
Well, I mean, the lineup this week is kind of...
They're going to Berkeley, like...
Yeah. Okay, first of all, I'm happy for Berkeley because Stanford, I mean, they did it to themselves, but Stanford and Cal have been having to travel, and that is just like...
I don't feel bad at all for them.
I do.
I mean, I feel
That's
bad
crazy.
for the athletes, but like...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah,
not
I
the
mean-
school, not the entity.
Yeah, no, I honestly am like...
But
oh,
yeah,
just selfish.
so luckily they get a home game, and my hope, I'm not dumb, I'm not picking Cal, but my hope is that Cal figures it out and beats them, and that because it's a 10:30 game, that this 10:30 game will get to Miami.
Oh my God, that's going to be so late for
Yeah.
them. Like, coming from the East Coast.
Yeah, it's gonna be like 1:30. So my hope, my prayer is that
Oh my God. I didn't
it's just
realize
not all
that.
clicking. It's just not all clicking for them. So I'm not picking Cal,
How
saying
do
that
you even
now.
prepare for that? Like, like, how do you prepare your team to play at...
I guess like
Wow.
start practice later.
That is
play
so crazy.
later. I don't know.
I just had a whole revelation on this podcast.
Yeah.
Where, like, wow, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
But
I
I'm
didn't mean
picking.
to
Oh no,
cut
no, no,
you
you're
off
fine.
because I'm still in awe.
No, you're good. I'm picking Miami, but my hope and prayer is that Cal will figure it out and do something.
Okay, got it. I'm also gonna pick Miami. I don't think that Cal's gonna do anything. I I just don't. I think that I'm really excited for the fans of Cal to have this experience of having game day.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that that's exactly what it'll be, an experience,
Yeah.
and that's it.
Yeah.
So-
Cal, I love Berkeley though, like the campus.
I
and
mean,
so,
yes. I mean, we literally used to live like 10 minutes away from Berkeley, and it is it's beautiful. It's there. Everybody is so smart, and they are changing the world. The scientists, yes, they are doing it. They are doing. We need Cal.
just
we
not
need
on the
Cal.
football field.
Exactly.
Not on the football
Everybody
field.
has a place. Everybody has a place. And I'm not trying to say that these players at Cal are bad. To play a Division I sport, you have to have a lot of talent. You have to have
Yeah.
it's I'm not crapping on Cal players' abilities. I'm just saying the classroom is the strength here.
Yeah. Right.
That's it.
I hear you. So I'm rooting for you, Cal. I'm not picking you, but I'm rooting for you.
Yeah, same.
And then to recap our records, Rachel, you are sitting at 18-4 after going
I lost one last week.
5-1 last week. I am
Notre
sitting
Dame
at-
actually decided to show up.
swear. And you know what? I'm mad I didn't pick them because I was actually low-key rooting for them, but I was just like, can't do it. But anyway.
I can't do it. It's not in me.
Can't do it. But I went 4-2, so sitting at 13-9. And as Rachel mentioned, Haley went 5-1. So
Yes.
she did good.
We did. That last week we had good picks. Good games, good picks, and our teams for the most part came through for us. So
Yes.
claps to all of our teams last week. Congratulations to the winners. So sorry for the losers. But that is our episode for this week. Thank you all again for always supporting us. Look out for our stories this week, and because we want to know, we might be a little crazy when it comes to the conference champions, but we want to know your way too early Heisman picks and your conference champion picks. And I'm just really excited because I'm ready to see a whole lot of playoff football. Top caliber matchups. I'm
Yes.
so ready.
It's
So
good.
take a look at our stories and follow us at the Game Day Girlies on Instagram. And we will see you guys next week. All right. Bye, game day girlies.